I decided to call my vlog Kourtni with a K because throughout school and anytime I was anywhere new, I would always introduce myself as Kourtni with a K, and it just stuck. Anyway, I wanted my first vlog to kind of be my story. I have a lot of stories, so I think I'm gonna split this up because otherwise you'll be like so bored. I don't even know where to start. In primary school, I was a very confident little girl. So in primary school, I was sexually assaulted to the point that the person was charged with rape when I was 9 years old. That happened. And I didn't tell anybody that happened until I was in 7th grade. I was going into high school. So 4 years before I told anyone about it. I went to a Catholic primary school, so sexual education it was a taboo subject, obviously. So they did have one class that I remember about sexual education, and it was on good touching, bad touching. It was in that moment that I realized that actually this is not normal. This is totally and completely wrong. At the time, my dad, having been in the army, my dad can get very scary, I suppose. People tell me stories that when it was time to tell my dad what happened, they actually had to restrain him because he would have murdered someone that day. And obviously murder is not a good thing, and I'm not condoning that. However, as a daughter to a dad, it is very comforting to know that your parents would do that for you. And being a mother now, I absolutely know where he came from in that aspect. He tried it on 2 occasions, but that's another story. So here I am, little old Kourtni, going into high school, and I was going through all of these court proceedings, etc., etc. And somehow, I'm not even sure how it happened, but I slipped well and truly into depression to the point where I was cutting myself all up my arms, all up my leg. When I was doing that, to me it felt like all of the pain that I was feeling inside, I needed to feel physical pain to justify how I was feeling on the inside. And people that have never been through that can't understand it, to be perfectly honest. And that's okay. That's okay if you can't understand it. However, I am sharing my story so that you might be able to understand it. He was found guilty, which was fantastic. However, on the day of his sentencing, he committed suicide. I felt so cheated. So cheated. I was like, where's my justice? To be honest with you, I was so angry. I was like, bitch, I just went through all of this shit and you just took the easy way out. That made me so angry. And I don't think it was until I was at school that I was like, that it hit me. I went up to the office and I asked for permission to go see the guidance counsellor. And because I was going to see the guidance counsellor quite a lot at the time, they told me no because they thought that I was missing too much school. So instead I went to the closest bathroom and I cut myself again. Honestly, I can't even tell you how I got out of depression, but I can tell you how I stopped cutting myself. My mum and dad found me and they didn't want to leave me at home alone, obviously, as you do. So my dad, bless him, literally dragged me from my room into the car to the point where I was gripping the floor or the door handle or the door frame or anything just to get me in the car. And he got a knife. I'm not a victim. So he got a knife from the kitchen and he said, every time you cut yourself, do it to me instead. And he pulled me into the car, and obviously because he's bigger and stronger than I am, he won. And I remember lying in the back seat of the car while Mum is driving to her work function, and my dad was in the back seat with me, and I just cried. Not a victim. Not a victim. I'm not a victim. I'm a survivor. And that was probably the moment when I realized I thought I was only hurting myself, and I was okay with that. But then I realized that I was actually hurting a lot of other people around me. To be honest with you, during that period of my life, I was such an asshole to my sister. That's something that I will never ever forgive myself for. Like, I really let her down. So now I'm so determined to make up for that. I will do everything in my power to make sure that she succeeds in her career. 12 years later, here I am. I have been through enough shit. It's now time. Just let the most beautiful parts of me come out. I'm now a survivor. I'm no longer a victim, and I never want to be a victim again. So I am grateful for the lesson that God gave me in that. And now I'm very determined to build my platform, because I want to start a charity for victims of abuse, and I want to help them. I very much feel like God sent me here to change as many lives as possible, and I'm determined to fulfill that. But nobody fucks with you or fucks with your charity if you're a nobody. So that's my mission.